Good morning. Today's movement sequence is for those of us with conditions or circumstances that make us wake up in the morning in pain. Sometimes our body needs a smooth transition between lying down and standing up. We're going to start off this sequence in bed and get the body started to take on the day. The first thing we'll do when we wake up is turn over onto your back, and I like to start by putting the pillow under my knees. That feels most comfortable for my back, so give that a try. And that way your head can be flat and you don't have to be tipped up in your neck. Just start by putting one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly and become aware of your breath. You don't need to do anything except feel the rise and fall. Start to feel your back expanding into the bed as your front expands into your hands. A few breaths, and now we'll start rolling the legs in and out, opening up the hips. Just roll them towards each other in a way. Do this as small or large as you're comfortable. Now we'll start with the lymphatic system. We're tapping by the collarbones, right by your breastbone, just below the collarbones. Now tap at the lymph nodes in your neck. Go up and down the neck, kind of towards your ear, and then brush downwards, moving the fluid towards your heart. Tap on the cheekbones below the eyes. And then on the forehead, between the eyes and the eyebrow. Tap around the eye bones, into the skull, around the ears. There are patterns to this, but right now we're really just trying to start moving lymph and waking up the meridians. Tap around the sides of the neck and on your shoulders, and finish by brushing both sides towards your heart. I'm doing one hand at a time and brushing across. Now rest one hand on your head and use the weight of your arm and help roll your head side to side. This loosens your neck and shoulders. Then we tap into the armpit, the side of the body, waking up the lymph nodes in the armpit and in the side. And start tapping down your arm towards the thumb side and then up the pinky side. This is our lung meridian and our heart meridian. And then stretch the side of the body. Now we'll do the same thing on the other side. The arm rests on your head. Just let the arm be heavy like a rag doll, so the shoulder and the neck have a gentle motion. Tapping into the armpit and the side of the body. Again, our focus is starting to move the fluids and the chi, the energy, down the thumb side of the hand, our lung meridian, and then up the pinky side of the hand, which is our heart and our small intestine meridians, into the side of the body that gets into some other meridians there. And then we stretch, only stretch to where you feel comfortable. Now tap on the breastbone. This helps to activate our immune system. Lightly brush outwards across the ribs. And now we're going to start rubbing the abdomen. Rub in a clockwise direction, so up the right, down the left. Massaging the intestines and waking up the lymph. Now, light pounding. As we do this knocking motion, the hands are loose and you slightly tighten your stomach muscles. Now in the hip joints, this is another set of lymph nodes. And again, we brush the lymph upwards towards your heart. Now bring one knee into your chest. Put your hand behind the knee. We also have lymph nodes behind the knee. We're lightly stretching that leg up and down, and then give it a hug to massage the organs on the right side of the body. Stretch the leg upwards, and then bring it down. Shake it out a little bit. And remember, your range might be different than mine. The idea is that we're mobilizing the joints. Think of bringing fluid, lubricating your joints and your tissues. A lot of our morning stiffness has to do with a lack of hydration in our tissues. We're hugging that leg again, giving it a stretch, bringing it down, shaking it out. Now bring both knees into your chest and rock your body side to side, massaging your back, massaging your belly. Hold your knee joints if you can and start circling your hips around. If this is too much for your shoulders or your hips right now, just skip it and continue hugging your knees. Take a deep breath. Allow your breath to begin to expand. When your legs are against your front, your breath has to expand into your back. You can hold behind the knees or you can hold around the knees. Now we're going to move the pillow away and we'll start opening your hip joints. Start with one leg and we are rolling the ball and socket. This also opens up the meridians of the inner thigh, our kidney meridians, and a couple of our other meridians that run through the leg. And now the legs are going to go side to side, falling the same direction. Notice I have distance between my feet, so it's more about the hips than the spine. Now give yourself some room overhead because we're going to do a little more of a full body stretch. Your right arm and your right leg stretch away from each other. And then we do the same on the left side. I picture sort of a gecko, like a little climbing motion. Now put your hand on your rib cage to encourage more stretch and expansion of the ribs. Let your head naturally turn only as much as it's comfortable. And maybe you're pressing into the pillow or something overhead, which gives you some feedback as you stretch. Now we're going to start rolling side to side. Notice what I'm doing here is opening and then closing. So you get a very natural motion. It may take several of these to start getting all the way onto your side. Take your time and just follow the sequential spiraling of your joints. Eventually, you'll find yourself all the way on your side and be able to drop your legs over towards the floor, and we're halfway there. Now that we're sitting up, we're going to bring our attention to the feet. First thing I want you to do to wake up the feet is just start tapping the sole of your foot, awakening the sole of the foot, but also beginning the hinge of the ankle. Think of bringing fluid and lubricating the ankle joint. Now we're going to try just the toes. Okay, this is actually harder than it seems. I want you to look at it. I'd like your toes pointing straight forward and your knees pointing straight forward. Keep the ball of your foot on the floor and just lift all the toes up and then bring them down. For a while, there'll be some of them that are kind of sleepy, but if you keep practicing this, even those pinky toes will start to come up. Now we'll lift the heels up and down. So the ball of the foot stays on the floor and you pull the heel up towards the knee. We're pumping the calf muscle. In Qigong, these are called the little hearts, and they help to pump the fluid back up into the body. Now I want you to maintain the distance between your knees, so you put your fists together, keep the heels where they are, and tap the toes together and apart. This is another one that is much harder than it looks or than it seems like it should be. But we're spinning the knee joint when we do this one. Okay, now we're going to curl the toes like we're trying to pick something up. This is sometimes called scrunch the towel. So scrunch with your toes and then stretch them back down. Scrunch the towel, pick it up, put it down. We're working the muscles and the fascia, the connective tissue in the sole of the foot. Now tap behind the knees. We've got some lymph nodes back here. Massage a little bit, massage the inside of the knees. We're bringing in fluid, brush upwards, knock on the outside of the legs. These muscles can get very tight, so give them a good knock. Give your legs just a nice rub, however it feels good. Now pick up one leg. I get this might not be accessible for some of you right away, but be patient, and little by little you'll be able to get to this position. It's really important, though, that you don't strain your knee, so take it slow, just do what you can. It's not worth having a little strain or injury because then that sets you back, and our goal here is to help move you forward. There's a really significant point right in the sole of the foot here, right where I'm pointing, and it's called the bubble spring point, and it's the root of our kidney meridian, which is an important part of our deep energy source. So slapping this is an ancient technique to bring energy all the way up into the body, which also helps our bones and our nervous system because those are part of the kidney domain. So I'm massaging the sole of the foot, and now massage up the muscles and the tendons, the meridians, the fascia, up over that shin into your knee, and rub upwards, sending fluid upwards. Place that leg down. Let's get ready to do it on the other side. So you're going to find that point, the bubble spring point, and we're going to slap that point. We're sending energy up into the body. We're awakening our channels that help to reserve and nourish all the rest of our systems. This one is, if you can get your leg here, this is not to be missed. Now massage up the meridians on the inside of the leg. There's lots of ways. Sometimes I like to do this kind of karate chop motion. And then brush upwards. Don't do anything that hurts though. Be gentle, be soft with your body. We don't want it to react in tension. Now feel the soles of your feet on the floor. Place one hand on the back of your skull and one hand on your sacrum. That's the bone in the back of your pelvis. And as you breathe, feel them expand backwards and slightly away from each other on the inhale. And then they go slightly towards each other on the exhale. Now you're going to knock on that sacrum. You can definitely spend more time. So my hand here is in this floppy position. I was just showing you. You're flopping on it, you're massaging it, gentle knocking on that sacrum to open up all the dense connective tissue that tightens up through the low back. Warm it, massage it, knock on it, and now give your body a gentle twist side to side. Now, when I'm in a really bad day, I can't twist very much here. Today's pretty good. It's also secret. It's not really morning for me in this video, so I have a little more motion than usual. Move your shoulders around. All of these movements don't go in a range that feels like even so much stretch or strain. We want to keep it very gentle for the nervous system. Open the legs, interlace the fingers, and pull energy up from the ground. Turn your palms over your face and stretch all of your fingers, your armpits upwards. If you can't do that, that's fine. Just bring your hands across your chest. We're going to bend side to side here. Now, this can be a very triggering movement for some of our backs. So I want you to keep in mind, we're not going for a giant stretch. We're actually focusing on the organs, liver on the right, spleen, stomach, pancreas on the left, and your intestines. Our nervous system is concentrated in the intestines as well. It's called our enteric nervous system. We're going to exhale to one side, squeeze the organs on one side, inhale, inflate, squeeze the organs on the other side. We are detoxifying, massaging, and breaking up any dense connective tissue that gets stiff over the night. Now we move the spine forward. This is called crane neck. We come forward and back. Now the movement comes from the middle of the spine, the navel to the spine area. This is where I want you to go. There's another significant spot, which is called the door of life, and that is behind the navel and just a little up from there at the spine. Our movement here comes from the door of life. We are opening this energy gate, and I usually do 9 times each direction. This way is called crane neck. Now you might find it has to be pretty small. And here I'm demonstrating just a small version. It doesn't matter how big it is. What matters is that we flow and open this gate and awaken the belly. We're going to reverse. Turtleneck. The turtle goes into the shell. The turtle looks up out of the sea. I'm starting small. When my spine is stiff, it has to be very small. But then as it gets more mobile, more fluid, more lubricated, you might be able to make a bigger movement. I can't stress enough, the range of movement is not important. The flow of energy is the most important thing. So don't get caught up on your muscles and your bones. Think about moving energy up and down your spine and opening up the body to be able to receive energy. When everything is stiff, you're not a good vessel for receivership. We're going to bring energy in right now, pulling it up from those bubble spring points in the feet up to your kidneys in the back. Warm up your hands. Rub them together, get some good friction going, and now warm those kidneys and think of breathing from the soles of your feet up through the bones of your legs, up through your tailbone, and right up into your kidneys, into your heart, and into your lower belly, like you're charging your battery with energy from the earth. I'm going to do a pretty short moment here, but you can stay here as long as you like. Just feeling that channel like roots are growing from your feet and you're drawing nourishment up from the earth into the kidneys, into the belly, and into the heart. Breathe through your nose gently. Now start shaking your spine. Wiggle your sit bones side to side. And again, only to no pain. Then maybe the ribs can start to go, and maybe the neck can start to go. Only flow in a range that feels comfortable and fluid. Now my favorite, shaking. Shake the hands, shake the fingers, shake the forearms. Start to invigorate your breathing here. Doing this starts to open up your lungs, open up your cardiovascular system. Let the hands get really loose and floppy. Shake them every which way. We got one more to go. We're going to roll down and hang. Breathe into your kidneys, that low back area. Feel it inflate. And then lift your belly away from your thighs. Press down through your feet and let your spine float up. Again, maybe you can't go very far. Maybe it looks like this. Maybe it's just a small motion. And if it's too triggering, you just drop your head. Roll all the way down, hang down, maybe shake out your shoulders if that feels okay. Then lift your belly, ground your feet, and roll your spine up. We're going to build the next level into standing, so your feet get a little closer. You tip and just rock your body weight until your bottom lifts up. Maybe you want to knock on the legs a little, sit down, roll back up. You might have to do this several times. Get those knees ready. We're going to stand pretty soon. We roll down. You just shift the body weight into your feet and your bottom comes up. And then your bottom comes back down and you roll up. You really could practice this maybe a dozen times if you need to before you're ready. I'm ready now though. I'm going to lean the weight forward into my feet, reach the arms, and stand up. And here we are. Inhale, take the energy in from the earth, from the heavens. Send that energy down in through the crown of your head. Clear away all the debris. And now you're ready to do whatever it is the day has in store. Enjoy.